My oh my, the questionable things that we do as a broke college students traveling around the world. Once upon a time, I was celebrating my birthday in Singapore, and my sister decided to join me. Now, if you know my sister, you know that her and I share our birthdays for about a week apart. And this particular occasion, my sister is also celebrating her graduation, and we were hitting the town. When we were in Singapore, we left that night from our Airbnb, and we were drinking, and we were partying, and we were having a fantastic time. I remember at the club, they were jamming Roly Roly with a dab of ranch. Those were the times. And we were bussing it down. It was great. It was wonderful. Now, this is my sister's first time in Asia. So I was trying to keep it low key and make sure that I could get us back. Now, when we left the club, it was about, I don't remember what time it was, but it was late. It was past 2 o'clock, because if you've been in Asia, you know that the party goes on until 7 in the morning. But at this point, we had to call it quits, and I was like, all right, let's go. It's time to go home. And the train was no longer working. It was already, closed for the evening. And we started looking up Ubers. Now, these Ubers for what was going to be like a 7-minute drive were more than $100. Now, these $100, this money had already been predisposed for my sister and I to go to the beautiful Singapore gardens and to do many other activities that did not cost said monies. And we were like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So we're waiting and waiting and waiting. We're trying to see if the fare will go down, but apparently this is Prime Club time, and that's what it costs to get a 15-minute ride at Prime Club time in Singapore. It is more than $100. So what do my sister and I do? We go to the train station, and I pick the cleanest looking fire hydrant, and I sit on said fire hydrant, and I go to sleep. I go to sleep because the plan is we will wait until the train starts running again so we can get on the first ride back to our Airbnb. Why we thought this was a good idea, I do not know. However, it's worth it. Like, we're in Singapore, we're gonna make the most with the least, and like, we're having a fantastic time. Now, at this point, my sister and I, we're getting into a little bit of a spit spat. I'm sitting on a fire hydrant over here, she's sitting on a fire hydrant all the way over there, and we're just watching the time pass. Now, I'm a little bit annoyed with her. We've been drinking, and I'm like, I think right now the best thing to do as a collective is to have some space. I will see you at 6:50 so we can make our way inside the station for the 7 o'clock train. Now, at this point, it's like 6:30 in the morning. We've been sitting on these fire hydrants for hours. And I go to my sister and I'm like, hey, do you have your card? Because of course, you need your card to get on the station. After sitting on these hydrants for about 3 hours, I have to say at least, my sister informed me that she does not have the card to ride the station. And I was just bamboozled. I was like, I cannot believe after all this time of having a metal hexagon pressing into my arse, you do not have your card to get on the freaking train, my man. Like, what do you mean? At this point, we're both sober, and I'm looking at how far is it for us to just walk to this damn Airbnb, but it's way too far, and there's highways involved, and it's not safe. So we look up the fare again to the Ubers. Now, at this point, I want to say that the Uber had dropped from $100 to, I want to say, like 30 or 40 bucks, which was still expensive, but it wasn't the $100. So we got the freaking Uber and we went back to the Airbnb. Now, here's part 2 of the story. Once we made it to the Airbnb, we could not get in. We had the keys. However, since it was past a certain time, they had used the double lock on the door. We knocked mercilessly. They did not have a ringer. We called, we left messages. No one opened for us. So what did we proceed to do? I plopped down on the hallway and I fell asleep. I fell asleep in the hallway, and at some point around 8 in the morning, the lady who worked on the grounds of this Airbnb finally let us in. They had woken up and seen our many missed Airbnb messages and finally let us in. So, was it all worth it? Would I do it again? Absolutely, you bet I would. You see, these are the stories that live and last for a lifetime. And although these may be times that don't come back again, that's what makes them so special. And I invite you, my dear hustlers, wherever you are in your life, make the most of it. One day you will look back and yearn for those days of freedom and craziness. And also, it is always reassuring to know that in times like that, you made it, you had fun, and so you are so much more capable and well-equipped now to do the same. My hustlers, say yes to adventure. Take the trip, do it with no money, and figure it out. It is going to be amazing.